Welcome to Biology Before Bed. I hope your day has been gentle and that now, as you settle into a comfortable position, you can allow yourself to drift into a state of quiet awareness. Perhaps you are lying down, wrapped in a soft blanket, or sitting in a chair with your hands resting loosely in your lap. Wherever you are, this is a space for calm observation, for gentle attention, for noticing the body as it quietly performs its work, even when we are not thinking about it. Tonight, we will explore the human body not in a rush, not with urgency, not with expectations. Instead, we will move slowly, softly, allowing ourselves to notice the gentle pulses, flows, and loops that continue inside us every second of every day. The story of the body is long, patient, and repeating. It moves in cycles, returning again and again to rhythms that are predictable, quiet, and comforting. As we begin, you might notice your own breathing, slowly rising and falling. There is no need to change it. Let it be exactly as it is. Let it be part of the story we will tell together tonight. The human body begins its quiet work from the very first moments of life. But even now, it continues with endless repetition. The heart beats with a soft, steady rhythm. With each pulse, blood is gently pushed through a network of vessels, carrying oxygen and nutrients, moving life throughout the body. Red blood cells drift along in patient patterns, sometimes in clusters, sometimes alone, but always moving. The pulse is steady, dependable. You might feel it faintly in your chest, or perhaps in your fingers or toes, if you are aware. Its rhythm is like a slow drum, quietly repeating in the background of your awareness, reminding you that life continues, softly and persistently, as the blood travels through this network. Oxygen enters cells and nutrients reach tissues that need them. Within each cell, countless processes unfold, quiet and meticulous. Proteins fold and unfold. Molecules drift slowly along established paths, and energy is released in gentle bursts that keep cells functioning without drawing attention. Each action is small, precise, and unhurried. These processes, repeated billions of times, create the foundation of life itself. And as you notice them, your mind may begin to align with the rhythm, noticing its own pulse, its own warmth, its own quiet energy. Breathing is another gentle rhythm. With each inhalation, air fills the lungs. With each exhalation, air leaves softly. The lungs rise and fall like gentle waves, steady and predictable. Breathing requires no effort beyond observation. It has its own rhythm, a natural looping pattern, a quiet repetition that continues even as you listen. Your breath is connected to the heart, to the circulation of blood, to the movement of oxygen into cells, and to the gentle balance of the nervous system. Observing this rhythm softly can create a sense of alignment, a quiet comfort, and a gentle settling into calm awareness. Inside. The digestive system performs its own slow, patient work. Food is broken down over hours in a careful, measured process. Nutrients are absorbed gradually, traveling through tissues and into the bloodstream, moving to places where they are needed. The stomach contracts softly, the intestines push contents along steadily, and every cell that receives these nutrients works quietly, repeating its function over and over. This system is slow, predictable, and looping, creating a sense of balance that supports all other functions. Even when we are unaware, it continues, calmly, faithfully, without interruption. The nervous system is another silent conductor of the body's quiet symphony. Signals travel along neurons, slowly and precisely. They trigger muscles to contract gently, glands to release hormones, and the body to respond to changes without abruptness. These impulses repeat countless times, forming a subtle network of communication that maintains balance. Some signals are faster, some slower, but all occur in a gentle rhythm, ensuring that the body moves, adjusts, and maintains harmony. Observing this silently can allow your mind to enter a similar rhythm of unhurried, calm. The skeletal system supports this quiet movement. Bones provide stability and shape, protect vital organs, and allow motion through joints that glide smoothly, cushioned by cartilage. Inside, tiny cells continually renew bone tissue, absorbing older material and forming new, without haste or alarm. Even the slowest movements of your body rely on these quiet, precise cycles. Each bone, each joint, works in repetition, supporting life without drawing attention, maintaining steady structure over years and decades. Skin, the body's largest organ, participates in the same slow story. It regenerates gradually, layer by layer, protecting the body from the external world while sending gentle signals inward. Temperature regulation occurs subtly. Sweat may form. A shiver may pass through, and sensory receptors quietly transmit information about the environment. Each signal is small, controlled, and repeated. Each process contributes to the body's overall balance, its steady harmony. Even at a microscopic level, the story continues. Cells divide, communicate, and replace themselves. Some live for hours, some for days, some for decades. They act in loops, sending chemical messages, adjusting to changes, repairing what is needed. These processes are so small, so precise, that they can be easily overlooked. And yet, without them, the entire system would not function. Observing them gently allows us to appreciate the patient, quiet, ongoing work of the body, and to feel our own connection to these rhythms. The circulatory system, digestive system, nervous system, skeletal system, and skin are all part of a larger network of loops and cycles. Each system repeats actions in predictable patterns, gently overlapping with others. Oxygen travels through blood, nutrients travel through tissues, signals travel along nerves, hormones rise and fall, and all of these continue quietly, harmoniously, without urgency. Repetition is comforting. Repetition is stabilizing. Repetition allows the body to maintain balance without conscious effort. Quietly, calmly, endlessly. Even movement is slow and rhythmic. Muscles contract, tendons stretch, joints bend, and the body adapts gradually to forces applied over time. Repair and growth occur in small, precise steps. Tiny tears and muscles heal, bones strengthen in response to stress, tissues rebuild over hours and days. Each adjustment is patient, repeated over and over, creating stability, continuity, and resilience. The body maintains itself gently, without urgency, without alarm. Now, let us observe the body's energy cycles. Inside each cell, chemical reactions convert nutrients into energy. This energy is released slowly, in precise amounts, to keep cells functioning. Mitochondria hum in quiet activity, converting molecules with subtle efficiency. These processes repeat countless times across billions of cells. They are patient, looping, slow, yet essential. And as we notice these cycles, we may begin to sense a calm presence, a quiet order, a steady hum of life that continues inside us. Whether we pay attention or not, Sleep itself is another rhythm. Hormones rise and fall, signals travel slowly through the brain, and the body prepares for rest. The eyes close gently, muscles relax, breathing slows, and the heart settles into a slightly slower pace. The body has a natural loop of wakefulness and rest, a cycle repeated day after day, month after month, year after year. Observing these cycles softly can allow the mind to align with them, creating calmness, rest, and comfort. Even within the mind, processes repeat. Thoughts may drift in patterns, memories may surface slowly, attention may wander gently. These loops are not hurried. They are predictable. They are quiet. And in noticing them, we begin to sense the connection between our inner awareness and the body's steady work. We are participants and witnesses at once, gently observing, softly noticing, and gradually relaxing. The slow story of the human body is vast. Every system, every organ, every cell, every molecule participates in a network of loops. Circulation repeats, respiration repeats, digestion repeats, neural signaling repeats, growth and repair repeat. These cycles overlap, intertwine, and form a gentle, harmonious rhythm. The repetition is comforting. The rhythm is stabilizing. And observing it quietly can help us drift toward rest, toward calm, toward sleep as we continue. We will explore more layers of this story: the molecular processes, the cellular communication, the way organs support each other, and the subtle ways the body balances itself. Each of these layers moves slowly, steadily, and in repetition. Each layer contributes to a continuous, calming symphony of life that never stops, never hurries, and never demands attention. As we continue, let us drift deeper into the quiet rhythms of the human body, observing its cycles without hurry or expectation. The body is a landscape of steady motion, a network of softly repeating processes, all interwoven and continuous. Each beat, each pulse, each breath forms part of a gentle pattern, a slow story that continues silently, faithfully, whether we notice it or not. Consider the heart once more. Each beat is both familiar and extraordinary. Blood moves steadily through arteries and veins, carrying oxygen and nutrients, while waste products are gently collected and returned to be processed and removed. Veins expand and contract, arteries pulse in soft rhythm, and capillaries transport substances in subtle loops, minute by minute. This circulation is unhurried, steady, and continuous. Even the smallest red blood cell moves along its path in patient progression, sometimes alone, sometimes in groups, yet always part of the larger rhythm. Observing this flow quietly can help align your own awareness with the calm persistence of life. The lungs continue their slow work. Inhalation and exhalation form a gentle cycle, oxygen flowing in and carbon dioxide flowing out. Tiny alveoli expand and contract softly, exchanging gases with a quiet precision. With each breath, you might notice a gentle wave rising and falling within you, echoing the rhythm of these internal processes. There is no rush. The breath does not demand effort or attention. It simply flows, repeating, soothing, and sustaining. The digestive system also continues its patient labor. Food, slowly broken down, transforms into energy that drifts through the body in soft, looping paths. Nutrients enter cells gradually, participating in cycles of growth, repair, and energy release. The stomach contracts with gentle precision. The intestines move steadily, and waste is processed without haste. Each step occurs in repetition, creating a quiet predictability. Observing this rhythm softly allows the mind to relax. Following the unhurried passage of life through the body, let us now notice the nervous system, quietly carrying signals across vast networks of neurons. Each impulse travels along a path, initiating subtle actions, a small muscle contraction, a tiny release of hormone, an adjustment in the body's internal environment. Signals are repeated in loops, again and again, forming a stable, predictable network of communication. The nervous system is patient. It does not hurry. It does not call attention to itself. And yet it is always active, continuously orchestrating balance, supporting each process, maintaining the flow of life in gentle repetition. Even the skeletal system moves in harmony with these cycles. Bones support every motion. Joints glide without friction, cushioned by cartilage that allows smooth passage of motion. Tiny cells within the bones slowly remodel tissue, absorbing older structures and forming new ones. Over years, these cycles continue quietly, contributing to strength, stability, and resilience. The skeletal system is part of the body's repeating symphony, patient and steady, silently providing structure and support. Muscles, tendons, and ligaments also participate in these slow cycles. Muscles contract and relax, tendons stretch and rebound, ligaments guide motion and stabilize. Repair occurs gradually. Micro tears in muscle tissue heal over time. Fibers are strengthened in subtle increments. Each adjustment is small, precise, and repeated over days, weeks, months, and years. Even the smallest movement is supported by these patient cycles. Observing this repetition can bring a sense of calm and continuity, a quiet reassurance that the body maintains itself gently and predictably. Now, consider the molecular processes within each cell. Energy is produced, molecules interact, enzymes catalyze reactions, and signals travel along chemical pathways. These processes repeat in cycles that are so small we rarely notice them, yet they are essential for life. Mitochondria convert nutrients into energy in a steady hum. Proteins fold and unfold in gentle, repeated motions. DNA is transcribed into RNA with patient precision, following patterns that have been repeated for countless generations. Each repetition is soothing in its predictability, like a quiet, invisible rhythm that hums beneath awareness. The body also maintains homeostasis, balancing temperature, pH, fluid levels, and electrolyte concentrations. Hormones rise and fall, signaling organs and tissues to adjust subtly. Feedback loops monitor changes, correct imbalances, and return the system to equilibrium. This process is continuous and patient, repeating in quiet cycles that sustain life. Observing this stability softly can allow the mind to notice order, predictability, and calm, supporting relaxation and ease. Skin, the body's largest organ, continues its quiet work. It regenerates slowly, layer by layer, maintaining a barrier between the inner body and the external world. Sensory receptors send gentle information inward, helping the body respond without alarm. Temperature is regulated subtly through blood flow, sweat, and shivering. The skin's activity repeats continuously, forming part of the body's overall rhythm, maintaining balance without effort, without urgency, without stress. Even at the level of organs, repetition continues. The liver filters blood, processing toxins gradually. The kidneys regulate fluids and electrolytes, slowly balancing internal systems. The pancreas releases insulin and digestive enzymes in small, measured amounts. The stomach and intestines continue their loops of breakdown and absorption. Each organ operates in predictable cycles, contributing to a calm harmony that underlies the body's overall function. The sensory systems also move in slow repetition. Eyes adjust to light levels gradually. Ears perceive subtle vibrations and respond with measured precision. Taste, smell, and touch send signals along gentle loops, informing the body softly and continuously. These systems integrate information and feed it back in repeated cycles, helping maintain awareness and balance without rush or alarm. Observing this quietly can create a feeling of alignment between the mind and the body, a gentle sense of connection and calm. Let us also notice the cycles of sleep and wakefulness. Hormones rise and fall. Brain activity changes in predictable waves. Muscles relax. Eyes close. Breathing slows. Heart rate steadies. These cycles repeat every 24 hours, day after day, year after year. The body moves predictably between wakefulness and rest, and observing this repetition softly allows the mind to align with the body's natural rhythms. The cycles themselves are comforting, soothing, and meditative. A gentle loop that encourages relaxation and sleep. Even the immune system participates in patient repetition. White blood cells patrol tissues, detecting changes slowly and quietly. Signals trigger gradual responses, defending the body without urgency or alarm. Inflammation occurs in small, controlled ways, repairing tissue over hours or days. The immune system works in quiet cycles, repeating actions that protect and maintain balance, harmonizing with all other processes, unseen and patient. Blood circulation, respiration, digestion, nervous signaling, skeletal support, muscular action, cellular energy, molecular reactions, sensory feedback, hormone cycles, and immune responses. Each system moves in repeating loops, often overlapping, blending, and intertwining. The result is a calm, continuous story of life that is patient, slow, and comforting. Observing these cycles softly, without needing to analyze or judge, can allow the mind to drift into rest, following the quiet harmony of the body. And so, as we continue to observe, we may notice that the body's story is one of repetition, patience, and slow persistence. The heartbeat repeats, the lungs rise and fall, cells divide and communicate. Organs maintain balance, hormones rise and fall, and cycles of sleep and wakefulness continue. Each loop is gentle, predictable, and soothing. Observing this story in quiet awareness can bring comfort, calm, and a sense of safety, as the body repeats its rhythms without hurry or stress. The human body is a story of continuity, of loops within loops, of cycles within cycles. Every breath, every pulse, every chemical reaction contributes to a larger pattern of life, all moving slowly, patiently, calmly. Each system supports the other, creating harmony and balance. Each repetition is a reminder of the body's steady presence, a gentle reassurance that life continues, softly, endlessly, and predictably. As the slow story continues, the body remains steady, patient, and quietly alive. Nothing suddenly changes. There is no sharp transition. The same gentle rhythms continue, looping softly as they always have. The heart still beats. The lungs still rise and fall. Cells continue their work without pause. The body does not need to be reminded. It simply continues. In this moment, you may notice how the body feels like a landscape rather than a machine. It is not something that switches on or off. It is something that flows. Inside, countless processes move at different speeds, all layered together, all existing at once. Some are fast, some are slow, and many are so gradual they are almost still. Yet together, they create balance. Balance is one of the body's quiet goals. Not perfection, not stillness, just balance. Temperature is kept within a narrow range. Fluids are adjusted drop by drop. Energy is stored, released, and restored in gentle cycles. These adjustments happen continuously, softly, without your awareness. The body is always listening to itself. Consider warmth. Your body maintains its temperature without asking for attention. Blood vessels gently widen or narrow. Tiny amounts of heat are released or consumed. The process is slow, precise, and repeating. Even now, as you rest, this balancing continues. There is no rush. There is no effort required from you. Inside the bloodstream, chemical signals travel calmly. Hormones drift through circulation, reaching distant tissues. They do not shout. They whisper. Their messages are subtle, their effects gradual. A hormone may take minutes or hours to fully influence its target. This slowness is intentional. It prevents extremes. It keeps the system smooth and stable. The endocrine system works like a quiet tide. Hormones rise slowly, fall slowly, and repeat their patterns day after day. Cortisol changes with time. Melatonin increases as darkness settles. Insulin responds gently to nourishment. Each hormone participates in loops that repeat predictably. These loops guide sleep, hunger, energy, and rest without urgency. The body prefers gradual change. Sudden shifts are avoided whenever possible. If something moves out of balance, feedback systems respond softly. Adjustments are made in small steps. The body is patient with itself. It allows time for correction. This patience is part of its design. Within every organ, similar feedback loops exist. The liver monitors chemical levels. The kidneys sense fluid balance. The lungs adjust breathing depth. Each organ gathers information, responds gently, and then This constant listening creates stability. The body is always aware of itself, even when you are not. At the cellular level, balance continues. Cells monitor their internal environment. They adjust ion levels, energy use, and repair mechanisms. When something changes, the response is measured. A cell does not overreact. It adapts slowly, conserving energy, maintaining structure. Cells communicate with one another constantly. Signals are exchanged across membranes. Receptors bind gently. Messages are passed along chains of reactions. Each message follows a familiar path. Each response is part of a repeating pattern. Communication does not stop. It flows quietly, endlessly. Over time, cells age. They accumulate small changes. When their work is complete, they are replaced. This turnover happens continuously. Skin cells are renewed. Blood cells are replaced. The lining of the gut regenerates again and again. Renewal is slow, steady, and balanced. Nothing in the body tries to last forever. Instead, it maintains continuity through replacement. This is another form of balance. Old structures fade. New ones appear. The overall pattern remains stable. Change happens quietly, without disruption. The immune system participates in this balance as well. It watches without interfering. Immune cells move slowly through tissues, observing, sampling, learning. Most of the time, they do nothing at all. Stillness is their default. Action only occurs when necessary, and even then, it is controlled and measured. When repair is needed, it unfolds gradually. Cells migrate to damaged areas. Signals increase gently. Inflammation rises and then falls. Healing takes time. Scar tissue forms slowly. Strength returns gradually. The body does not rush recovery. It allows space for completion. This patience extends to growth as well. Muscles strengthen over weeks. Bones adapt over months. Neural connections shift over years. Learning, both physical and mental, is slow by design. Repetition builds structure. Consistency creates change. Even posture reflects this slowness. The way you hold yourself has developed over long periods. Muscles have adapted. Tendons have adjusted. Bones have aligned gradually. The body remembers patterns and maintains them gently, without force. The brain, too, prefers gradual shifts. Neural activity moves in waves. Patterns repeat. Thoughts often return to familiar paths. This repetition is not a flaw. It is a stabilizing feature. Predictability allows rest. During calm moments, brain waves slow. Activity becomes synchronized. Regions communicate gently. There is less urgency, less sharp focus. This state supports rest, reflection, and sleep. The brain follows the body's preference for softness. Memory itself is shaped slowly. Experiences are not stored instantly. They are replayed, reinforced, or allowed to fade. Sleep plays a role here. During rest, patterns are revisited. Connections are adjusted. The brain organizes without effort. As night continues, the body leans further into these slower rhythms. Muscles release tension. Heart rate decreases slightly. Breathing becomes more regular. Sensory input quiets. The external world fades. Internal balance takes priority. The body does not need silence to function, but it welcomes it. In quieter moments, systems synchronize more easily. Energy is conserved. Repair becomes more efficient. Rest becomes deeper. All of this happens whether you are paying attention or not. Awareness is optional. The body does not depend on thought. It depends on repetition, balance, and time. As you listen, you may feel yourself becoming part of this rhythm. Your breathing may slow. Your muscles may soften. Your thoughts may drift. This is not something you need to control. It is simply a response to observing calm patterns. The slow story of the human body is not dramatic. It does not rush forward. It circles gently around balance, maintenance, and quiet continuity. Each moment resembles the one before it, with only subtle differences. This sameness is comforting. Nothing new needs to happen right now. The body is already doing everything it needs to do. You are allowed to rest inside this knowledge. The systems will continue. The loops will repeat. Balance will be maintained. And as this steady internal landscape continues, the story moves forward without effort, without tension, without demand carried by patience, repetition, and quiet biological time. As the body continues its slow work, time feels less sharp, less defined. Inside, there are no clocks ticking loudly, no deadlines, no sense of hurry. There is only duration. There is only continuation. Processes unfold because they always have, and because they are designed to do so gently and repeatedly. Inside your body right now, water moves slowly. It flows between cells, within cells, and through tissues. Water cushions organs. It allows molecules to drift. It carries heat and nutrients. Its movement is subtle and constant. Even when you are completely still, water inside you is shifting, redistributing, balancing itself quietly. Electrolytes dissolve in this water, creating gentle electrical differences across membranes. These differences allow cells to communicate, muscles to contract, and nerves to signal. The charges are small. The changes are precise. Nothing dramatic happens. Instead, balance is preserved through tiny adjustments, repeated endlessly. Within each cell, the internal environment is carefully maintained. Ions move in and out through channels that open and close softly. Energy is spent slowly and replaced gradually. Waste products are packaged and removed. Each step is measured. Each action follows a familiar path. Cells do not rush their work. They wait for signals. They respond only when needed. This restraint is important. It keeps the system stable. It prevents exhaustion. It allows the body to function for long periods without strain. Across tissues, cells organize themselves into layers, clusters, and networks. These structures remain stable not because they are rigid, but because they are flexible. They adjust slowly. They shift shape when needed. They return to balance when pressure passes. Connective tissue plays a quiet role here. It binds structures together gently. It absorbs force. It distributes tension. Over time, it adapts to repeated patterns of movement and rest. Its fibers realign slowly, responding to long-term habits rather than sudden changes. Blood continues to circulate through this landscape, delivering oxygen and collecting byproducts. Red blood cells pass through narrow capillaries, bending and reshaping as needed. This flexibility allows flow to continue without resistance. The process is smooth, silent, and repetitive. White blood cells move more slowly, patrolling tissues with patience. They pause, observe, and move on. Most of the time, they find nothing requiring action. Their calm presence contributes to overall stability. They are watchful, not aggressive. Platelets drift quietly as well, prepared to respond only if needed. Their readiness is constant, but their activity is rare. This balance between readiness and restraint is another theme repeated throughout the body. The lymphatic system mirrors circulation in a softer way. Fluids move slowly through lymph vessels, filtered gradually through nodes. Immune cells interact gently here, exchanging information, learning patterns. The pace is unhurried. The process is continuous. Even waste removal is calm. The kidneys filter blood steadily, drop by drop. They adjust fluid levels, ion concentrations, and waste removal with precision. Urine forms gradually, reflecting countless small decisions made quietly by tiny filtering units. The liver processes chemicals patiently. It modifies substances slowly, making them safer, easier to remove, or easier to use. This work never stops, but it never rushes. It follows predictable pathways, repeating the same reactions again and again. Inside the brain, neurons continue their slow signaling. Electrical impulses travel along established routes. Chemical messengers cross tiny gaps. Patterns of activity repeat. Some circuits fire often. Others rest quietly until needed. The brain balances activity and silence with care. As external stimulation decreases, internal rhythms become more noticeable. Brain waves slow. Synchronization increases. Regions communicate more gently. This shift supports rest, memory, organization, and emotional regulation. Nothing needs to be forced. The brain knows how to slow itself. Sleep-related processes begin to dominate. Melatonin levels rise gradually. Body temperature drops slightly. Muscles release tension. The eyes grow heavier. These changes are subtle. They build slowly, step by step, preparing the body for deeper rest. Dreaming, when it occurs, emerges softly from this environment. Images, memories, and sensations blend without logic or urgency. The dreaming brain is not trying to solve problems. It is simply allowing patterns to flow. Meanwhile, physical repair becomes more active. Growth hormone supports tissue renewal. Cells increase protein synthesis. Damaged components are replaced. This work is quiet and efficient. It does not interrupt rest. It depends on it. The heart continues to beat with calm regularity. During rest, its rhythm may slow slightly, conserving energy. Blood pressure adjusts gently. Vessels relax. The cardiovascular system welcomes stillness. Breathing becomes deeper or more regular. The diaphragm moves with ease. Oxygen exchange remains efficient without effort. Each breath supports the next. There is no need to control it. It knows its rhythm. Throughout the night, the body cycles through stages of sleep. Each stage has its own pattern of activity. These cycles repeat several times, each one familiar, each one predictable. The repetition is stabilizing. It reinforces the body's preference for rhythm. Even if sleep does not come immediately, the body still benefits from rest. Lying still allows muscles to relax. Reduced sensory input lowers demand. Energy is conserved. Repair can begin. The body does not judge wakefulness or sleep. It adapts to what is available. Its systems continue regardless. This flexibility allows resilience. It prevents stress from becoming damage. Time inside the body is not linear. It is cyclical. Processes repeat, pause, and repeat again. Progress is measured in loops rather than lines. This structure supports longevity. As hours pass, the same systems continue their work. Nothing dramatic changes from moment to moment. Instead, small adjustments accumulate. Balance is maintained through consistency. By morning, the body will shift again. Hormones will change. Temperature will rise slightly. Muscles will prepare for movement. Awareness will sharpen. These transitions are just as gradual as the descent into rest. The slow story never stops. It only changes pace. As you rest now, you are inside this story. You are supported by it. You do not need to manage it. You do not need to understand it fully. It continues because it always has. The body's quiet intelligence operates beneath thought. It depends on repetition, balance, and time. It trusts its own rhythms. And as this trust unfolds within you, the story remains gentle, steady, and ongoing, carrying you softly through rest, through stillness, and through the quiet continuity of being alive. As the slow story continues, the body remains settled in its quiet rhythm. Nothing announces the transition. There is no clear boundary between moments. One process fades gently into another, just as one breath becomes the next. The body exists comfortably inside this continuity, supported by time rather than urgency. Beyond the short cycles of breath and heartbeat, the body also lives in longer rhythms. These rhythms unfold over hours, days, months, and years. They are slower still, almost invisible, yet they shape everything. Growth, aging, adaptation, and renewal all belong to this longer biological time. Cells are always changing, but never all at once. Some are replaced quickly. Others remain for decades. This staggered renewal allows the body to stay familiar while slowly transforming. The pattern remains stable even as the pieces shift. This is how continuity is preserved. Skin renews itself steadily. Layers rise to the surface and are shed without notice. You never feel each cell leaving. The process is too gradual. Yet over weeks, the entire surface renews. This quiet replacement protects without demanding attention. Blood cells follow similar rhythms. Red blood cells circulate for months before being removed gently and replaced. White blood cells vary in lifespan, some lasting hours, others years. Each cell enters and leaves the system calmly, maintaining balance through turnover. Inside bones, renewal is even slower. Old bone tissue is absorbed gradually. New bone is laid down carefully. This process takes years, adapting structure to long-term forces. Bones respond not to single movements, but to repeated patterns over time. Muscles also adapt slowly. Strength increases through repeated use, not sudden effort. Fibers grow thicker over weeks. Tendons adjust over months. Ligaments adapt over even longer periods. The body listens to patterns, not moments. The nervous system follows this principle as well. Neural connections strengthen through repetition. Pathways are reinforced by use. Unused connections fade gently. Learning happens slowly, built from repeated exposure rather than instant change. Memory forms this way too. Experiences become memories through replay and reinforcement. Sleep supports this process. During rest, patterns are revisited, connections adjusted. Over time, memories settle into stable networks. Hormonal rhythms also reflect long biological time. Some hormones fluctuate daily. Others follow monthly or seasonal patterns. These cycles influence mood, energy, appetite, and sleep. The body aligns itself with environmental rhythms, adjusting gradually. Circadian rhythms guide daily activity. Light and darkness influence hormone release. Body temperature rises and falls. Alertness shifts predictably. These rhythms are not strict rules, but gentle guides, nudging the body toward balance. Seasonal rhythms exist as well. Changes in daylight subtly affect biology. Energy levels shift. Immune activity adapts. These adjustments are slow, unfolding over weeks, barely noticeable. The immune system remembers past encounters. This memory develops over time, shaped by repeated exposure. Immune cells learn patterns, responding more efficiently in the future. This learning is gradual and quiet. Even aging itself is a slow process. It does not arrive suddenly. It unfolds through countless small changes. Cells divide slightly less efficiently. Repair takes a little longer. Systems adapt. The body continues, adjusting its balance rather than stopping. Throughout life, the body prioritizes stability. When change is required, it introduces it gently. Abrupt shifts are minimized. This strategy preserves function over long periods. Inside tissues, stem cells wait quietly. They divide only when needed. They provide replacement without excess. Their restraint protects long-term health. The body's ability to heal follows this long timeline. Wounds close over days. Scars remodel over months. Nerves recover slowly. Patience is built into the system. Even emotional regulation follows slow rhythms. Stress hormones rise and fall. Calm returns gradually. The body does not erase stress instantly. It processes it over time. Sleep supports all of these long-term processes. During rest, energy is redirected toward maintenance. Growth hormone supports repair. Immune activity reorganizes. Neural patterns adjust. Sleep is not passive. It is deeply active, but quietly so. Dreaming reflects long-term integration. Experiences blend. Emotions soften. Memories reorganize. The dreaming mind moves slowly through symbolic space, unconcerned with logic or speed. As night continues, these long rhythms dominate. Short-term demands fade. The body focuses on preservation, repair, and balance. Time stretches. Even if awareness drifts in and out, the body remains steady. Conscious attention is not required. The systems know what to do. The slow story of the body is not about progress toward an endpoint. It is about continuation, about maintaining form while allowing gradual change, about repeating what works and adjusting softly when needed. Nothing in the body is rushed. Even urgency is handled through systems designed to return to calm. After exertion, recovery follows. After stress, balance returns. The body always seeks its baseline. This baseline is not static. It shifts gently over time, yet it remains recognizable. This familiarity provides comfort. As you rest, you are carried by these long rhythms. Your body has been practicing them for years. It does not need instruction. Breathing continues. Circulation flows. Cells renew. Repair unfolds. All of it happens within time frames that favor patience. You do not need to observe every detail. Simply knowing that this slow continuity exists can be enough to allow rest. The body does not hurry toward tomorrow. It remains here, now, repeating what sustains life. And within this steady biological time, the story continues quietly, gently, without interruption. The slow biological time of the body continues without interruption. There is no signal to announce it. No marker that says this moment is different from the last. The body simply continues being itself, carrying forward patterns that have existed for years, sometimes for decades. Inside this continuity, the body holds a deep memory of balance. This memory is not stored in one place. It is distributed across tissues, systems, and feedback loops. It exists as tendency rather than instruction. A gentle leaning toward equilibrium. When something shifts, the body notices. Not urgently, not emotionally. It notices through change in pressure, chemistry, temperature, or rhythm. Then, slowly, it responds. If the body is pushed away from balance, it does not rush to correct itself. It adjusts in small increments, a little at a time. This prevents overshooting. It prevents instability. This is how repair works. At the level of cells, damage is expected. Molecules break. Proteins DNA strands occasionally suffer small errors. None of this is alarming to the body. These events are part of ordinary existence. Repair systems operate continuously. Enzymes scan DNA. Proteins are refolded or replaced. Damaged components are recycled. This quiet maintenance is constant, like a background hum, most of the time. You are unaware of it. Even larger repairs follow this gentle pace. When tissue is injured, inflammation begins softly. Blood flow increases. Immune cells arrive slowly and in sequence. Debris is cleared. New tissue forms gradually. The redness, warmth, or tenderness you might notice is only the surface of a deeper process unfolding beneath awareness. As healing progresses, signals shift. Inflammation recedes. Growth gives way to remodeling. Strength returns over time. The body does not aim to erase all traces of injury. It aims to restore function. This philosophy extends throughout biology. Perfection is not the goal. Function is. The body remembers what has worked before. Not consciously, but structurally. Tissues that have adapted once adapt more easily again. Systems that have recovered before recover more efficiently next time. This is biological. Memory, muscle memory, is one expression of it. Movements repeated over time become easier to perform. The nervous system refines pathways. Muscles coordinate with less effort. The movement becomes familiar. Immune memory is another expression. Cells that have encountered a pathogen before respond more calmly and effectively upon re-exposure. The response is faster, but not frantic. Metabolic memory exists as well. The body learns patterns of energy use. It anticipates regular meals, regular activity, regular rest. When routines are consistent, regulation becomes smoother. Sleep itself is guided by memory. The body learns when to wind down. Hormones shift predictably. Neural activity slows in familiar ways. This is why regular sleep times feel easier. Even emotional regulation carries memory. Repeated experiences shape how the body responds to stress. Calm responses can be learned gradually. Safety can become familiar. All of this unfolds slowly. Nothing in the body demands immediate transformation. Even when change is necessary, it is introduced in stages. This staged approach protects stability. The heart, for example, adjusts gradually to long-term demands. Endurance training strengthens it over months. Blood volume increases slowly. Vessels adapt. Sudden changes are avoided. The lungs respond similarly. Capacity increases over time. Efficiency improves with repetition. The structure adapts without haste. The digestive system learns rhythms as well. It anticipates meals. It releases enzymes in advance. It slows during rest. These patterns develop through repetition, not instruction. The liver quietly manages long-term balance. It stores nutrients. It detoxifies gradually. It adjusts metabolism according to long-term trends rather than momentary fluctuations. The kidneys regulate fluid and electrolytes minute by minute, but their deeper adaptations occur over longer timescales. They fine-tune balance through slow structural changes. Even the brain, often associated with speed, is deeply patient. While signals travel quickly, learning unfolds slowly. Synapses strengthen over repeated exposure. Networks reorganize over days and weeks. Sleep is essential for this reorganization. During deep rest, activity patterns replay. Connections are adjusted. Excess signals are softened. Important ones are preserved. This nightly maintenance supports long-term clarity and stability. Dreaming reflects this process. Dreams are not rushed narratives. They drift. They blend memories and sensations. They soften emotional edges. They allow integration without effort. As rest deepens, awareness loosens its grip. Attention becomes less linear. Time feels less structured. This mirrors the body's own experience of time. The body does not measure time in minutes or hours. It measures it in cycles, in repetitions, in returns to baseline. Baseline itself is flexible. It shifts slowly across life. Childhood, adulthood, aging all represent different baselines. Each is stable in its own way. Aging is not a failure of the system. It is an expression of long-term adaptation. Resources are allocated differently. Repair prioritizes essential functions. The body continues to seek balance within changing conditions. Even in advanced age, many rhythms remain intact. Breathing continues. Digestion adapts. Sleep persists. The body does not abandon its principles. This consistency is comforting. It means you do not have to manage every process consciously. The body knows how to continue. As you rest, these systems operate quietly. Repair continues. Memory integrates. Balance is gently restored. You do not need to follow each process. You can let them pass beneath awareness. The slow story of the human body is not dramatic. It is repetitive by design. Repetition creates stability. Stability allows rest. Nothing sudden is required. The body is not moving toward an urgent conclusion. It is maintaining itself moment by moment, cycle by cycle. Breath follows breath. Heartbeat follows heartbeat. Night follows day. Even if your mind drifts, the body remains present. Even if thoughts fade, the rhythms persist. You are supported by processes that began long before this moment and will continue long after it passes. There is no need to hurry. The story continues quietly, patiently, holding space for rest. The slow story continues, not as a new chapter, but as a widening view. Up close, the body feels like many separate parts. A breath here, a heartbeat there, a thought drifting through the mind. But when time stretches and attention softens, something else becomes clear. Nothing in the body truly works alone. Every system is connected, not tightly, not rigidly, but gently, through constant communication. The body does not operate like a machine with isolated components. It behaves more like a quiet conversation that never ends. Signals move back and forth, adjusting tone, volume, and timing. Breathing affects the heart. The heart affects circulation. Circulation affects the brain. The brain influences breathing again. This loop is continuous. No single part is in charge for long. When you inhale slowly, the nervous system responds by easing its grip. Heart rate softens. Blood pressure shifts slightly. Muscles release tension. These changes are subtle, but they ripple outward. The body listens carefully. The digestive system also joins this conversation. When the body senses safety and calm, digestion becomes more active. Blood flow shifts toward the gut. Enzymes release more steadily. Muscles in the intestines move with smoother rhythm. If stress rises, digestion pauses slightly. Not as punishment, but as protection. Energy is redirected temporarily. When calm returns, digestion resumes. This constant redistribution of resources happens quietly. You are rarely aware of it. The immune system participates too. It does not remain fully active at all times. It adjusts its vigilance based on signals from hormones, nerves, and tissues. During rest, certain immune activities increase. During activity, others take priority. Sleep is when many of these systems align most clearly as the body rests. Muscles relax. Movement decreases. Energy demand drops. This creates space for maintenance. Repair processes become more active. Immune surveillance shifts. Hormonal patterns change. The brain coordinates this transition, but it does not command it forcefully. It responds to signals from the body just as much as it sends them. This is cooperation, not control. Even consciousness participates in this balance. When the mind becomes quieter, sensory input softens. Internal signals become more noticeable. The body does not require attention, but it benefits from the absence of interference. During deep rest, systems synchronize more fully. Heart rhythms become steadier. Breathing deepens naturally. Neural activity slows and organizes itself into repeating patterns. These patterns are not imposed. They emerge within cells. Communication continues as well. Chemical signals move between neighboring cells. Instructions are passed along gently. Cells adjust their behavior based on what surrounds them. No cell acts purely for itself. Survival depends on cooperation. This is true even at the smallest scale. Mitochondria, the energy-producing structures inside cells, respond to overall energy demand. When demand is low, they slow production. When demand rises gradually, they increase output. Sudden spikes are smoothed. The body prefers gradual transitions. Blood vessels reflect this preference too. They widen or narrow in response to need. This process, called regulation, is continuous. It does not wait for extremes. Temperature control follows similar rules. Heat is generated, distributed, released. Sweat appears only when needed. Shivering occurs only when necessary. Balance is restored gently. Hormones act as long-distance messengers in this system. Released in small amounts, they travel through the bloodstream, influencing distant tissues. Their effects are slow and sustained, not immediate. Cortisol rises gradually in the morning, preparing the body for wakefulness. Melatonin increases slowly in the evening, encouraging rest. These shifts are not abrupt. They unfold over hours. The body anticipates change. It prepares in advance. This anticipation is learned through repetition. Regular patterns reinforce expectations. Irregular patterns create adjustment periods. The body adapts either way, but consistency makes the process smoother. This is why routines feel comforting. They align with the body's preference for predictability. Even posture affects internal cooperation. When the body is supported, muscles release unnecessary tension. Breathing becomes easier. Circulation improves. Signals of safety increase. Lying down reduces the work of gravity. Blood returns to the heart more easily. The heart does not need to work as hard. This reduction in effort signals the body that rest is appropriate as systems relax. Attention can fade. The body does not need to be monitored. It has been coordinating itself long before conscious awareness existed. Throughout evolution, this cooperative design proved reliable. Organisms that balanced their systems survived longer. Over time, this balance became deeply ingrained. You carry this inheritance now. Even discomfort follows this cooperative logic. Pain signals do not exist to disturb rest unnecessarily. They exist to draw attention when something requires care. When the signal has served its purpose, it quiets again. The nervous system constantly adjusts sensitivity. During calm periods, thresholds rise. During danger, thresholds lower. This flexibility protects both safety and rest. Emotions follow bodily patterns as well. Calm emerges when systems align. Anxiety arises when signals conflict. Rest helps restore alignment. The body does not judge these states. It simply responds. During sleep, communication becomes more internal. External input fades. Internal coordination increases. Systems speak to one another without interruption. This internal dialogue repairs, recalibrates, and stabilizes. Dreams may appear during this time, but they are not commands. They are reflections. They mirror the body's integration process. As night deepens, cooperation becomes quieter. Fewer adjustments are needed. Systems settle into steady rhythms. This settling is not inactivity. It is efficient stillness. Breathing continues. Heartbeat continues. Cells continue their work. All without effort. Nothing needs to be forced. The body does not require instructions. It only needs space and time. As you rest, this cooperative intelligence remains active, quietly maintaining balance. The slow story continues as a shared effort between countless systems. None rushing, none competing, just cooperation. The cooperation inside the body does not ask to be noticed. It does not require appreciation or supervision. It simply continues, moment by moment, maintaining balance through quiet adjustment. Most of the time, this balance is invisible. You are not aware of how your blood pressure shifts slightly as you change position. You do not notice how oxygen delivery adapts as your breathing deepens. You do not feel the small chemical messages moving between cells. Yet all of this is happening continuously. The body is always listening to itself. Every system sends information outward. Every system receives information in return. These signals are soft, constant, and overlapping. No single message dominates for long. This prevents instability. When the body leans slightly too far in one direction, countersignals emerge. When activity increases, recovery signals follow. When temperature rises, cooling mechanisms activate. When energy drops, conservation begins. Nothing dramatic is required. This is not correction through force. It is correction through conversation. The nervous system plays a central role in this dialogue, but it does not act alone. It gathers information from organs, tissues, and blood chemistry. It responds by adjusting tone rather than issuing commands. The autonomic nervous system, working below awareness, handles much of this regulation. One branch supports activity, another supports rest. Neither dominates permanently. They trade influence gently. During the day, the body leans toward readiness. At night, it leans toward restoration. The shift is gradual, like a dimmer slowly lowering light dot. As rest deepens, muscle tone decreases. Not all at once. One region releases, then another. The jaw softens. The shoulders sink. The abdomen loosens. Breathing responds automatically, becoming slower and deeper without instruction. Heart rhythms shift as well. Variability increases. This variability is not disorder. It is a sign of adaptability. A heart that can change rhythm easily is responding well to internal signals. This adaptability is central to health. The digestive system continues its work quietly. Muscles move food along in slow waves. Nutrients are absorbed. Waste is prepared for removal later. These processes do not interrupt rest. The liver sorts molecules methodically. It releases stored energy when needed. It clears substances that are no longer useful. It works best when the body is calm. The kidneys continue filtering blood, adjusting fluid balance precisely. They respond to hormone levels, blood pressure, and hydration status. Their adjustments are subtle and continuous. The endocrine system releases hormones in carefully timed pulses. These pulses are small. They drift through the bloodstream, influencing distant tissues slowly. Nothing rushes. Even the immune system, often imagined as aggressive, behaves patiently. Immune cells patrol quietly. They communicate through chemical signals. They respond proportionally. During sleep, immune activity memory cells refine their recognition. Inflammatory signals soften. Repair-focused processes increase. This nightly shift supports long-term resilience. Inside the brain, activity changes character. Fast, focused patterns give way to slower, synchronized rhythms. Neurons fire together in repeating waves. These waves help integrate information accumulated during waking hours. Unnecessary connections weaken. Useful ones strengthen. Emotional intensity fades. Meaning remains. This is not analysis. It is organization. Dreams may appear as side effects of this process. They are not messages to interpret urgently. They are reflections of integration. You do not need to follow them as systems settle. The boundary between conscious awareness and bodily function softens. You may drift in and out of attention. This is expected. The body does not depend on continuous awareness. It functions best when allowed to work uninterrupted, even when thoughts arise. They do not disrupt these processes unless they become intense. Gentle, wandering thoughts coexist with rest easily. The body has evolved to function during imperfect sleep. It does not require ideal conditions. Over long periods, this nightly cooperation accumulates benefits. Repair compounds. Regulation improves. Balance becomes easier to maintain. This is why rest matters more for consistency than intensity. One calm night contributes a small amount. Many calm nights create stability. The body remembers these patterns. Over time, resting states become more accessible. The nervous system learns that it is safe to relax. Thresholds adjust. Calm becomes familiar. This familiarity is powerful. It means the body can enter rest more easily, even during waking hours. Breathing slows faster. Muscles release sooner. Recovery accelerates. This adaptability reflects a system that trusts its environment. Trust is not emotional here. It is physiological. It emerges from repeated experiences of safety and recovery. The body does not need reassurance in words. It responds to patterns. Stillness teaches it that stillness is allowed. As this understanding deepens, effort decreases. Sleep arrives more gently. Waking becomes less abrupt. Transitions smooth out. This is the long-term effect of cooperative regulation. Even when disruption occurs, stress, illness, irregular schedules, the body attempts to return to baseline. It may take time. It may require repetition. But the direction remains the same. The body always seeks balance. not perfection. This seeking continues even when awareness fades entirely. As night progresses, systems require fewer adjustments. Signals quiet. Activity becomes more uniform. Breathing remains steady. Heart rhythm remains adaptable but calm. Muscles remain relaxed. Cells continue their quiet work. Nothing asks for attention. Nothing demands action. You are supported by processes refined over millions of years. They are reliable because they are slow. Speed is reserved for emergencies. Calm is the default. As you rest now, you are not pausing life. You are participating in it at its most fundamental level. Life continues through maintenance. The slow story of the body is written not in dramatic moments, but in these long periods of quiet cooperation. Nothing needs to be added. Nothing needs to be fixed. The body is already doing what it knows how to do, and it will continue. Steadily, patiently, without interruption. The story continues by moving even deeper into something the body understands very well, but rarely announces. Energy, not energy as urgency, not energy as effort, but energy as quiet availability. The body does not seek maximum energy. It seeks sufficient energy. Enough to maintain balance. Enough to repair. Enough to respond when needed. Most of the time, the body prefers to conserve. Every system is designed with efficiency in mind. Movements are minimized. Signals are reused. Resources are shared. Nothing is wasted if it can be avoided. Even at rest, energy is being used carefully. Cells require energy to maintain their structure. Ions are kept in place. Molecules are transported. Proteins are folded. This baseline activity never stops. Yet even here, efficiency matters. When demand is low, energy production slows slightly. When demand increases gradually, production rises to meet it. This matching of supply to demand happens continuously, inside each cell. Mitochondria respond to signals from the surrounding environment. They adjust output based on oxygen levels, nutrient availability, and overall need. They do not work at full capacity all the time. They wait. This waiting is not inactivity. It is readiness. When energy demand increases slowly through gentle movement or gradual waking, the mitochondria respond smoothly. Sudden spikes are softened. The body prefers ramps rather than jumps. This preference for gradual change protects tissues. Blood sugar regulation follows this same logic. Glucose is released into the bloodstream slowly. Insulin responds proportionally. Excess is stored calmly for later use. Storage is not failure. It is preparation. Fat tissue serves as long-term energy storage. It releases energy slowly, providing stability across time. It protects the body from fluctuations. Muscle tissue stores energy as well, ready to be used when movement is required. During rest, these stores are preserved. The liver acts as an energy manager. It balances storage and release. It smooths transitions between feeding and fasting. It prevents extremes. During sleep, energy use shifts. Muscles relax. Movement decreases. Sensory processing softens. This reduces demand. At the same time, internal processes increase. Repair, memory, integration, immune activity all require energy. But they are scheduled during rest because they can be performed efficiently without competition. This scheduling reflects deep biological intelligence. The brain, often thought of as energy hungry, adapts its usage during sleep. Activity patterns change. Some regions become quieter. Others become active in slow, synchronized rhythms. Overall, consumption remains high, but it is directed inward rather than outward. Dreaming, memory, consolidation, and emotional processing all require energy. They simply use it differently. The heart continues pumping steadily. It does not speed unnecessarily. During rest, it often slows, conserving energy while maintaining circulation. Breathing follows suit. It becomes slower and deeper, maximizing oxygen exchange with minimal effort. The nervous system reduces alertness signals. Muscles are allowed to relax. Reflexes soften. This reduces energy use further. Energy conservation is not laziness. It is strategy. The body evolved in environments where energy availability fluctuated. Those that conserved survived longer. This preference remains encoded. Even hunger signals reflect this strategy. They rise gradually. They fall after eating. They are modulated by routine and expectation. Irregular patterns require adjustment. The body adapts, but it prefers predictability. Predictable energy input allows predictable energy use. This predictability reduces stress on systems. It allows smoother regulation. Stress itself is an energy signal. It mobilizes resources quickly. Heart rate increases. Glucose is released. Muscles prepare. This response is valuable, but costly. It is designed for short durations. When stress becomes prolonged, energy use increases unnecessarily. Repair and recovery are delayed. Balance becomes harder to maintain. Sleep counteracts this by shifting the body back toward conservation and repair during deep rest. Stress hormones decrease. Growth and repair hormones increase. Energy is redirected from immediate response toward long-term maintenance. This redirection restores efficiency. The body remembers these cycles. Regular rest teaches it that energy can be replenished. This reduces the need for constant vigilance. As vigilance decreases, energy use becomes more economical. Over time, this economy improves resilience. The body becomes better at responding when needed and resting when possible. Even emotions influence energy flow. Calm emotions reduce unnecessary activation. Anxiety increases energy expenditure. These effects are physical, not abstract. Breathing patterns shift. Muscle tone changes. Hormonal levels adjust. Calm allows energy to remain available rather than consumed. This availability supports healing, learning, and growth. During rest, the body also clears metabolic byproducts. Waste products are transported away. This clearing improves efficiency. In the brain, fluid circulation increases during sleep. Waste products from neural activity are removed. This process supports clarity and long-term function. This cleaning requires time and energy, but it prevents buildup that would later demand more effort. Maintenance now prevents crisis later. The body always prefers prevention over repair when possible. Even posture affects energy efficiency. When supported, muscles do less work. When strained, they consume more energy. Comfort is not indulgence. It is efficiency. Lying down reduces muscular effort. Sitting with support reduces tension. These small adjustments accumulate benefits as energy demand decreases. Internal systems gain more space to work quietly. This is why rest feels restorative even when nothing obvious is happening. Something is always happening. Cells continue to coordinate. Systems continue to adjust. Energy flows where it is most useful. You do not need to manage this flow consciously. The body has been doing it since before conscious thought existed. As awareness softens, energy regulation becomes smoother. Nothing needs to be forced. The slow story continues through these quiet exchanges of energy, conserved here, released there, always guided by balance. As the body continues to rest, energy moves through it quietly, without urgency. There is no single source, no single destination. Energy circulates, settles, and redistributes, guided by long-standing patterns. The body does not think about energy in words. It feels it as availability. When enough energy is available, systems relax. When energy feels scarce, systems conserve. This sensing happens continuously, beneath awareness. During sleep, the body shifts into a state where conservation and maintenance coexist. Demand drops in some areas and rises gently in others. The balance changes, but the total effort remains measured. Muscles, no longer required to hold posture, reduce their activity. Electrical signals slow. Tension fades. Energy once used to resist gravity is freed. That energy is not lost. It is redirected. Some of it supports tissue repair. Some of it supports immune organization. Some of it supports memory consolidation. These processes are not competing. They are coordinated. The body schedules work during times when the environment is quiet and stable. Night provides that stability. Without movement, without constant sensory input, energy can be invested inward. Cells take advantage of this opportunity. Damaged components are identified and recycled. New molecules are assembled. Structural integrity is restored. These actions happen slowly. Speed would increase error. Slowness increases accuracy, even at the molecular level. Efficiency favors patience. Enzymes operate at rates that balance precision and speed. Reactions are controlled. Heat is managed. Nothing overheats. The body protects itself from excess as much as from deficiency. In the brain, energy use becomes more evenly distributed. Regions that were highly active during the day reduce their demand. Other regions increase activity quietly, performing background tasks. This redistribution prevents overload. It also allows integration. Experiences from the day are revisited without emotional intensity. The brain extracts patterns, relationships, and meaning. Details that are no longer useful are softened. This process reduces future energy expenditure. A well-organized memory requires less effort to access. Learning, at its core, is an energy-saving strategy. The heart, resting into a steady rhythm, uses energy efficiently. Each contraction delivers blood smoothly. There is no rush. Blood vessels respond by maintaining gentle tone. Resistance remains low. Circulation is smooth. This smoothness reduces strain on the heart. Energy is conserved. Breathing continues in slow cycles. Each breath delivers oxygen fully. Carbon dioxide is released easily. There is no need for shallow, rapid breaths. Deep breathing supports efficient gas exchange. Fewer breaths do more work. The digestive system, no longer focused on immediate intake, continues its slow progression. Nutrients absorbed earlier are distributed. Storage is adjusted. Signals of fullness or hunger are muted. This quiet digestion prevents unnecessary energy spikes. The endocrine system maintains its gentle pulses. Hormones supporting repair and growth remain elevated. Those supporting alertness remain low. These hormonal patterns guide energy allocation subtly. Even body temperature, Regulation reflects energy balance. Heat production decreases slightly. Heat loss is minimized. The body maintains warmth with minimal effort. Small adjustments prevent large corrections later. The skin plays a role as well. Blood flow to the surface adjusts. Sensation fades slightly. This conserves energy and reduces external distraction. The eyes remain closed, reducing sensory input. Visual processing rests. Energy, once used for interpretation, is freed. Hearing softens. Attention narrows. Internal signals become more prominent. This inward shift allows deeper regulation. The body does not require total silence. It adapts to background sound easily. What matters is the absence of threat. Safety allows conservation. When the body feels safe, it spends less energy scanning for danger. Vigilance decreases. Muscles remain relaxed. Hormonal stress responses remain low. This safety can be learned. Repeated calm nights teach the nervous system that rest is reliable. Over time, the threshold for relaxation lowers. Less effort is required to settle. This is why routine supports rest. Familiar cues signal safety, darkness, quiet, stillness. These signals align with ancient patterns. The body recognizes them. Energy use slows naturally in response. Even if sleep is light, conservation still occurs. The body does not demand perfect conditions. Any reduction in activity helps. Any moment of stillness contributes. As the night continues, energy demand decreases further. Systems require fewer adjustments. Maintenance becomes steady rather than reactive. This steadiness is restorative. You may not feel dramatic changes. Restoration is subtle. It accumulates quietly. In the morning, you may simply feel slightly more balanced, slightly clearer, slightly more capable. These small changes reflect effective energy management. The body prefers incremental improvement over dramatic shifts. This preference keeps it resilient. Even when energy is low, the body adapts. It prioritizes essential functions. It delays less critical tasks. It protects itself. This prioritization is automatic. You do not need to decide what matters most. The body already knows. As you rest now, energy continues to move slowly, efficiently, without waste. Nothing is being rushed. Nothing is being withheld unnecessarily. The balance is maintained. The slow story of the body unfolds through these gentle exchanges. Energy spent, energy restored, always measured, always calm. You are not required to participate actively. You can simply allow the process to continue. As energy settles into balance, another presence becomes clearer. Time, not time measured by clocks. Not time divided into schedules or deadlines, but biological time, the slow, internal sense of duration the body follows naturally. The body does not experience time as a straight line. It experiences time as rhythm. Cycles repeat. Patterns return. Signals rise and fall. This repetition creates stability. Breathing marks time softly. Heartbeat marks time quietly. Sleep and waking mark time gently. These rhythms existed long before language. They continue without awareness. Inside the body, countless clocks operate simultaneously. Some are fast, some are slow. All are coordinated. Cells divide on their own schedules. Some renew quickly. Others wait years. This variation allows tissues to maintain both flexibility and structure. Skin renews rapidly. protecting the body from the environment. Bone renews slowly, preserving strength. Nervous tissue changes carefully, maintaining continuity. This diversity of timing is intentional. If everything changed at once, stability would be lost. If nothing changed, adaptation would fail. Balance lies between. Hormonal rhythms reflect this balance. Some hormones fluctuate daily. Others follow monthly patterns. Some shift across seasons or years. These rhythms influence mood, energy, appetite, and sleep without demanding attention. The body prepares for change before it arrives. As morning approaches, hormones slowly rise. Body temperature increases slightly. Awareness returns gradually. This preparation begins before waking at night. The reverse occurs. Signals of rest increase long before sleep arrives. Muscles soften. Digestion slows. Attention drifts. These transitions are gentle by design. Abrupt changes disrupt rhythm. Gradual changes preserve it. The circadian rhythm, often called the body's clock, coordinates many of these cycles. It responds primarily to light and darkness. It adjusts hormone release, metabolism, and alertness accordingly. This rhythm is resilient but prefers consistency. Regular patterns strengthen it. Irregular patterns require adjustment. The body adapts, but slowly. Adaptation itself takes time. When routines change, the body does not immediately align. It shifts incrementally. Signals adjust over days. Sleep timing rebounds. Energy distribution changes. This gradual adaptation prevents shock. The body protects itself from sudden extremes. Aging unfolds through the same principle. It is not a sudden event. It is a slow accumulation of changes. Cells divide slightly less efficiently. Repair processes take longer. Elasticity decreases gradually. These shifts are measured. Despite these changes, rhythms remain. Breathing continues. Circulation continues. Sleep continues. The body adapts its balance rather than abandoning it. Memory also reflects biological time. Short-term memories fade quickly unless reinforced. Long-term memories stabilize through repetition and rest. Sleep plays a central role in this process. During sleep, experiences are sorted. Some are strengthened. Others are allowed to fade. This selective process prevents overload. The brain cannot store everything. It chooses patterns rather than details. This choice reduces future effort. Emotions are shaped by time as well. Intensity fades. Meaning remains. The body does not sustain extreme states indefinitely. Stress responses activate quickly but resolve slowly. Calm returns through gradual signaling. This asymmetry protects against harm. Fast responses save lives. Slow recovery preserves health. The immune system operates on its own timeline. Immediate responses address threats. Long-term memory provides protection for years. Vaccinations work by engaging this long memory. The body learns gradually. Protection lasts. Healing follows biological time too. Wounds close over days. Strength returns over weeks. Sensitivity resolves over months. Scars fade slowly. Tissue remodels patiently. Trying to force speed disrupts quality. The body favors thoroughness over haste. During rest, awareness of time often changes. Minutes blur. Hours pass unnoticed. This reflects the body's own temporal experience. When rhythms align, the sense of time softens. This softening supports rest. Sleep stages unfold in cycles. Light sleep leads to deeper sleep. Deep sleep alternates with dreaming. These cycles repeat through the night. Each stage serves a purpose. Each has its own timing. Skipping stages reduces benefit. Allowing cycles to complete improves restoration. The body prefers completion over interruption, even breathing. During sleep follows slower rhythms. Pauses lengthen slightly. Depth increases. Efficiency improves. Heart rhythms follow these patterns. Variability increases during deep rest. This variability reflects adaptability. Adaptability is health. Rigid systems break under stress. Flexible systems recover. Time allows flexibility to develop. The body learns from repeated exposure. Stress experienced repeatedly becomes easier to manage. Calm experienced repeatedly becomes easier to access. This learning is not conscious. It is structural. Neural pathways strengthen. Hormonal responses adjust. Muscle tone adapts over time. The baseline shifts. This shift reflects accumulated experience. The body carries history quietly. Past injuries, past habits, past environments leave subtle traces. These traces influence present function, yet the body is not trapped by history. Given time and consistent conditions, it adapts again. Time is not the enemy of the body. It is the medium through which adaptation occurs. The slow story continues through these rhythms, these cycles, these returns. Nothing demands immediate attention. You are allowed to rest within this timing. The body knows how long to take. The body continues its relationship with time without ever naming it. There is no internal calendar, no awareness of dates, no sense of past or future as separate places. There is only continuity. The body experiences time as an unbroken field, shaped by repetition. What happens often becomes familiar. What is familiar becomes easier. What is easy becomes quiet. This is how time leaves its mark. Each breath resembles the last, but is never identical. Each heartbeat follows the same pattern, yet adapts subtly. These variations are small enough to feel stable, yet flexible enough to respond. This balance between sameness and change is the body's way of staying alive across time. Nothing in the body insists on permanence. Nothing rushes toward disappearance. Everything is temporary, yet sustained cells are born, function, and dissolve back into components that will be reused. Molecules are assembled and disassembled. Energy flows through forms without attachment. This continuous recycling allows life to persist without accumulation. Even structures that seem soft, tendons, connective tissue are constantly renewing. The changes are simply too slow to notice. This slowness is protective. Fast change would be destabilizing. Slow change allows the body to remain recognizable to itself. Identity, at the biological level, is pattern rather than substance. You are not made of the same material you were years ago, yet you remain yourself. The pattern continues even as the pieces change. Time allows this paradox. Inside the nervous system, this pattern is especially clear. Neurons maintain identity through connectivity rather than content. Signals pass along familiar routes. Networks retain shape even as individual molecules are replaced. Memory depends on this stability, yet memory is not fixed. It shifts gradually. Details soften. Emotional charge fades. What remains is meaning. This softening is not loss. It is refinement. The body does not cling tightly to the past. It allows experiences to settle into broader patterns. This prevents overload. Emotional responses follow similar trajectories. Intensity peaks, then fades. Recovery is slower than activation. This asymmetry ensures that action is decisive when needed, but calm is durable afterward. Stress arrives quickly. Rest returns slowly. This protects long-term health. The body cannot remain in high alert indefinitely. It must return to baseline to survive. Time ensures this return. Hormonal responses are shaped by duration. Short exposures trigger temporary changes. Prolonged exposures reshape systems more deeply. This is why habits matter more than moments. A single night of rest contributes something. Many nights of rest reshape regulation. The body learns through accumulation. Sleep itself is an expression of this learning. Early sleep cycles emphasize physical restoration. Later cycles emphasize integration and dreaming. Across the night, priorities shift. This sequencing is not random. It reflects long-term optimization. The body distributes work across time to avoid overload, even across years. Priorities shift. Growth dominates early life. Maintenance dominates adulthood. Conservation increases with age. These shifts are not errors. They reflect changing needs. The body does not fight time. It works with it. Aging is often described as decline, but biologically, it is resources are redirected. Speed gives way to efficiency. Flexibility gives way to stability. Many rhythms remain intact throughout life. Breathing remains rhythmic. Circulation continues. Sleep persists. The body adjusts its expectations rather than abandoning them. Time also shapes perception. As awareness softens, the sense of duration changes. Long periods may feel brief. Brief moments may feel extended. This distortion is not a failure of attention. It is alignment with biological time. During rest, the body is not measuring minutes. It is completing cycles. When cycles complete, rest feels satisfying. When interrupted, rest feels shallow. This is why allowing sleep to unfold naturally is restorative. The body knows how long each stage needs. Interference disrupts completion. Patience supports it. Inside tissues, long-term adaptations occur quietly. Tendons thicken over months. Capillaries increase density over weeks. Bone architecture adjusts over years. These changes improve resilience. Resilience is the body's response to time, not avoidance of it. Illness also follows time-based patterns. Acute illness resolves quickly. Chronic conditions develop slowly. Recovery mirrors onset. The body resists sudden reversals. It prefers gradual transitions. Healing is a process, not an event. Even the immune system respects this. Immediate responses handle immediate threats. Long-term immunity develops slowly, refining recognition over time. This refinement improves accuracy. Fast responses are broad. Slow responses are precise. The body uses both. Rest supports the slow ones. During sleep, immune memory is reinforced. Inflammatory signals are recalibrated. Balance is restored. This nightly recalibration prevents long-term imbalance. Time also influences sensitivity. Repeated exposure reduces reaction. Novelty increases alertness. The body learns what can be ignored. This learning conserves energy without it. Every sensation would demand attention. The nervous system filters. Filtering is learned through time. As you rest now, your body is filtering. It is deciding what matters and what does not. It is smoothing edges. You do not need to participate consciously, even if thoughts arise. They are folded gently into the background. The body is not interested in narrative. It is interested in pattern. Patterns that repeat become stable. Patterns that fade are released. This release creates space. Space allows calm. The longer the body experiences uninterrupted calm, the more familiar it becomes. Familiar calm requires less effort to maintain. Eventually, calm becomes the default. This does not mean alertness disappears. It means alertness becomes purposeful rather than constant. The body learns when to act and when to rest. Time teaches this. Discrimination, each night of rest contributes a small adjustment. Each calm breath reinforces a pattern. Each gentle cycle adds stability. These contributions accumulate. You may not notice them immediately. That is expected. The body does not announce progress. It simply continues. The slow story of the body is written in these not in dramatic moments, but in steady repetition. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is rushed. Time is not passing through the body. The body is moving within time, and within this movement, rest remains possible. The body does not recognize endings. There is no internal signal that marks one phase as complete and another as beginning. What exists instead is continuation. One state gently leaning into the next. One rhythm softening into another without interruption. This is how the body prefers to move through time. There is no sharp boundary between effort and rest. No sudden switch between tension and release. Everything shifts gradually. So gradually that the transition itself is often unnoticed. Muscles release not all at once, but in layers. Breathing slows, not suddenly, but by degrees. Awareness drifts rather than disappears. This gradual change protects stability inside the body. Systems are designed to overlap. As one process quiets, another takes its place. Nothing shuts down completely. Nothing demands full attention. Even in deep rest, activity continues. Circulation remains steady. Respiration continues its gentle rise and fall. Cells continue their quiet work. The body never becomes empty or still. It simply becomes less demanding. Time inside the body feels different here. It stretches, it softens, it becomes less segmented. Minutes lose their edges. Moments blend. This is not confusion, it is coherence. When the body feels safe enough to let go of urgency, it no longer needs to divide experience into precise units. It can operate as a whole rather than as a sequence. This wholeness is deeply efficient inside tissues. Small adjustments are constantly taking place. Fluid shifts subtly between compartments. Pressure equalizes. Temperature evens out. Chemical gradients rebalance. None of this requires instruction. These processes have unfolded in similar ways for as long as bodies like this have existed. Evolution favored what could continue quietly. Loud systems are fragile. Fast systems burn out. Stable systems persist. The human body belongs to the third kind. It has survived not by speed, but by patience. Even responses that appear immediate are supported by slower foundations. Reflexes depend on structures shaped over years. Strength depends on tissue reinforced gradually. Endurance depends on systems tuned through. Repetition, nothing appears suddenly. The body's apparent readiness is the result of long preparation, and when preparation is no longer needed, the body releases it. This release is not dramatic. It is subtle enough to go unnoticed unless attention is already quiet. As rest deepens, unnecessary tension loosens first. Then supportive tension softens. Finally, even background readiness fades. The body keeps only what is required to continue breathing, circulating, maintaining internal balance. Everything else becomes optional. This optional state is not weakness, it is trust. The body trusts that it does not need to be alert to everything at once. It trusts its environment enough to withdraw effort. This trust is built over time. Repeated experiences of safety teach the nervous system that vigilance is not always required. Repetition matters more than intensity. One calm night does not change everything. Many calm nights slowly reshape expectation. Expectation determines baseline. When the baseline shifts toward calm, rest becomes easier. The body no longer has to fight its own habits. Habits are simply remembered patterns. The body remembers through structure, through connectivity, through sensitivity thresholds, through timing. These memories are not stories, they are tendencies. A muscle remembers through tone. A nerve remembers through responsiveness. A gland remembers through secretion patterns. These memories fade and reform depending on use. Unused readiness dissolves. Repeated calm stabilizes. This is why rest is cumulative. Even when you are not aware of it, your body is learning how to rest better each time it rests. The learning is slow by design. Fast learning would make the system unstable. Slow learning makes it resilient. Inside the brain, activity becomes more synchronized as rest deepens. Regions that often compete begin to align. Communication simplifies. Rather than many signals crossing at once, fewer signals move more coherently. This coherence feels like quiet. Thoughts may still arise, but they have less momentum. They pass through without pulling attention fully with them. The body does not attempt to suppress thought. It simply reduces the energy available to sustain it. This reduction is gentle. The mind follows the body, not the other way around. When the body slows, the mind has fewer resources to maintain complexity. It simplifies naturally. This simplification is restorative. Complexity is expensive. Simplicity conserves energy. The body knows when conservation is appropriate. During rest, energy is redirected away from outward engagement and toward inward maintenance. Repair, consolidation, regulation, even digestion slows, prioritizing absorption over movement. Everything turns inward. Inward does not mean isolated. It means focused on continuity. The body is always preparing for what comes next, but never in a hurry. It prepares by maintaining itself. Cells replace damaged components. Proteins refold. Membranes regain flexibility. Small imbalances are corrected before they grow large. Most of this work happens best when external. Demands are minimal. Rest creates this condition. It is not laziness. It is strategic withdrawal. The body does not distinguish between physical and mental rest in the way language does. To the body, reduced demand is reduced demand. Whether you stop moving or stop thinking, the effect is similar. Signals quiet. Energy redistributes. Time stretches. This stretching allows processes that cannot be rushed to complete. Some repairs take hours. Some adjustments take days. Some adaptations take years. The body does not prioritize speed. It prioritizes completeness. Incomplete repair creates vulnerability. So the body waits. Waiting is not inactivity. It is patience applied to biology. As patience accumulates, resilience increases. Resilience does not mean never changing. It means changing without breaking. The body achieves this by keeping change slow, even when circumstances shift suddenly. The body responds first with short-term adjustments while long-term structures remain intact. Only if change persists does deeper adaptation occur. This protects identity. You remain recognizably yourself because your body resists unnecessary transformation. It changes only when change proves necessary over time. Time is the filter. Short signals fade. Persistent signals reshape. Rest allows the body to evaluate which signals matter. During wakefulness, everything feels important. During rest, importance is reassessed. Many signals are downgraded. Some are strengthened. Most are ignored. This selective process reduces noise. Noise is exhausting. Quiet allows recovery. As the body continues resting, awareness becomes less anchored to the edges of sensation. Boundaries soften. Where the body ends and the environment begins becomes less defined. This is not loss of control. It is reduced monitoring. The body does not need to track its borders constantly. Gravity still supports you. Surfaces still hold you. Breath continues. Monitoring is expensive, so the body lets it go. In this state, time no longer feels like something passing. It feels like something held by rhythm, held by repetition, held by continuity. The body has always existed in this holding. You are simply noticing it less, and that is enough. As the body remains in this quieter state, it does not search for anything new. It does not look ahead. It does not review what has already passed. It simply continues. Continuation is the body's most natural condition. Long before language, long before memory as you know it, life continued by maintaining balance, moment by moment. The same principle remains now. Balance does not mean stillness. It means constant adjustment without urgency. Inside you, small corrections are always happening. Blood pressure shifts slightly with each breath. Heart rate responds to subtle changes in chemistry. Temperature is nudged up or down by fractions. These changes are not noticeable because they are successful. Success in the body is quiet. When regulation works well, it does not announce itself. You are not meant to feel it. Feeling usually means something needs attention in rest. Attention is unnecessary. The body trusts its own systems to operate without supervision. This trust allows awareness to loosen its grip. As awareness loosens, sensations become less defined. Edges blur. Signals overlap. The distinction between one feeling and the next becomes less important. This is not confusion. It is simplification. The nervous system reduces resolution when precision is no longer required. High-definition awareness is expensive. Low-resolution awareness conserves energy. During rest, conservation is prioritized. You may notice that time feels less structured here. There is no need to count or track. The body is not interested in schedules. It is interested in cycles. Cycles complete themselves when allowed to run their course. Interruption delays completion. Continuity allows it. The body has many cycles layered within one another. Breathing cycles within heartbeats. Heartbeats cycle within minutes. Minutes cycle within hours. Hours within days. All of these cycles continue whether or not they are observed. Observation is optional. When observation fades, cycles align more easily. There is less interference, less correction from conscious. Control is tiring. The body prefers cooperation. Cooperation means letting processes proceed at their natural pace. This pace is slower than thought. Thought moves quickly, jumping ahead, revisiting, rearranging. The body does not operate that way. It moves sequentially, step by step, never skipping. Even complex processes unfold linearly. One chemical reaction creates the condition for the next. One electrical impulse prepares the path for the next. Nothing happens all at once. This sequential nature gives the body stability. It prevents overload. It ensures that changes are integrated rather than abrupt. Integration is essential. Without integration, systems conflict. With integration, they support one another. Rest is when integration happens most efficiently. During rest, the body is not responding to external demands. It can attend to internal coherence. Signals that were fragmented during wakefulness begin to align. Hormonal patterns stabilize. Neural activity, metabolic processes settle into predictable rhythms. Predictability is soothing to biology. The body evolved in environments where unpredictability meant danger. Predictable conditions signaled safety. Even now, predictability allows deeper rest. When nothing unexpected happens, vigilance fades. As vigilance fades, muscular tone decreases further. Postural muscles release. Facial muscles soften. Even the muscles of the inner ear relax slightly. These releases are subtle, but cumulative. Each small release reduces background effort. Background effort is easy to overlook, but it consumes energy continuously. When background effort decreases, energy becomes available for restoration. Restoration does not mean rebuilding everything at once. It means maintaining what already exists. Maintenance is quieter than repair. The body prefers maintenance because it prevents damage from accumulating. This is why consistent rest is more effective than occasional. Recovery, consistency teaches the body what to expect. Expectation shapes response. When the body expects rest, it transitions into it more easily. Resistance fades. Thresholds lower. Sleep arrives gently rather than forcefully. Even if full sleep does not come immediately, rest still occurs. Rest does not require unconsciousness. It requires reduced demand. Reduced demand allows systems to downshift. Downshifting is gradual. The body does not skip gears. First, voluntary control loosens. Then, sensory input becomes less salient. Then, internal monitoring decreases. Each step builds on the previous one. Nothing is forced as this continues. The sense of self becomes quieter. Not gone, just less prominent. The body does not need a strong sense of self to function. Identity is not required for circulation, respiration, or cellular repair. Identity is a cognitive overlay. When cognition softens, the body remains. This is often experienced as a feeling of sinking, or floating, or spreading. These sensations are metaphors created by the mind to interpret reduced boundaries. The body itself is not moving in any special way. Only perception is changing. Perception is flexible. It adapts to internal state. As the internal state becomes quieter, perception becomes less detailed. Details fade first, then categories, then narratives. What remains is sensation without story. This is deeply restorative. Stories require effort. Sensation does not. The body does not tell itself stories. It responds to conditions. During rest, conditions are simple. Temperature is stable. Pressure is constant. Light is minimal. Sound is steady or absent. These conditions signal safety. Safety allows depth. Depth allows time. Time allows restoration. The body does not rush restoration. It allows it to unfold at the speed required. Some processes finish quickly. Others continue long after you are no longer aware of them. Even after you fall asleep, work continues. Sleep is not absence. It is redirection. Consciousness withdraws so that maintenance can proceed without interruption. This withdrawal is protective. The body does not want consciousness interfering with automatic processes. Conscious attention tends to override subtle regulation, so it dims awareness. Dimming is gradual. There is no switch. You may drift in and out of attention, noticing fragments, then losing them again. This is normal. Drifting indicates that the body is taking over. Taking over does not mean losing control. It means transferring responsibility to systems that have been doing this work since before you were born. They know what to do. They have done it thousands of times. Trust is not required. Participation is not required. The body does not wait for permission. It proceeds when conditions allow. As rest deepens further, even the sense of effort dissolves. Breathing feels as though it happens on its own. The body feels heavier, or lighter, or simply present. These sensations vary. There is no correct experience. The body is not aiming for a particular feeling. It is aiming for balance. Balance feels different depending on context. What matters is that effort continues to decrease. Effort is any activity that resists what is happening. When resistance fades, rest deepens. Resistance can be physical or mental. Tight muscles resist gravity. Active thoughts resist quiet. Both soften naturally when not reinforced. You do not need to push them away. Pushing is effort. Allowing is not allowing, means not adding new tension. Old tension fades on its own when no longer maintained. This fading takes time. Time is available. The body is not impatient. It does not evaluate progress. Does not compare tonight to other nights. Comparison is cognitive. The body does not compare. It only responds. As it responds to calm conditions, calm becomes more stable. Stability is comforting. Comfort allows deeper release. Release allows restoration to continue uninterrupted. This cycle reinforces itself. The more often it occurs, the easier it becomes. Eventually, rest feels familiar rather than unfamiliar. Familiarity reduces uncertainty. Uncertainty keeps systems alert. Certainty allows them to stand down. The body stands down gradually, layer by layer, system by system. Nothing is shut off abruptly, even in the deepest rest. Essential functions remain fully active. Life continues. It always does. You are not stepping away from your body. You are letting it carry. You carrying is something the body has always done. It carried you before you could think. It carried you through every change, every adaptation, every recovery. It is carrying you now. There is nothing else required.